Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a massive deep dive. We've been researching all the source files over at agent.905wood.com, sorting everything by date-time metadata to really synthesize the latest year-to-date headline news trends. And what we found is absolutely fascinating. We're looking at the hidden economy of, well, the garbage bag. We're going to explore how international geopolitics and some seriously next-gen AI are completely transforming the great trash arbitrage. The humble trash route is literally becoming a high-tech battleground. So here is our roadmap for today. 1. The cross-border waste crisis. 2. The geopolitical trade pincer. 3. The sentient bridge solution. 4. Next-gen edge AI architecture. 5. The auditable PDF shield. And finally 6. Matter, data, and money. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The cross-border waste crisis.
To really grasp this, we have to start with the sheer physical reality of the Ontario-Michigan waste corridor. Right now, there is a massive amount of municipal solid waste, or MSW, disposal export being shipped across the U.S. border to Michigan landfills from Ontario, Canada. And when I say massive, I mean 3.46 million tons of it every single year. It's just a staggering volume of physical matter constantly moving across that border. To put that 3.46 million tons into perspective, that actually makes up 14.35% of all the waste disposed of in Michigan landfills. That heavy influx firmly makes Michigan the #1 state in the U.S. for imported trash. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth is Ontario exporting so much waste across the border? Well, it's an economic necessity. Ontario is hurtling toward what experts call the 2034 capacity cliff. By that year, Ontario's domestic landfill space is projected to be completely, 100% exhausted. There will physically be nowhere left to put it locally, making this cross-border corridor a vital lifeline. Section 2. The geopolitical trade pincer. This critical logistics corridor is currently under siege by a perfect storm of regulatory changes and state-level politics. Just look at the timeline for 2026. It kicks off January 1st with a commercial blue box recycling collapse, forcing even more waste into the corridor. Then, February 24th, Washington activates a Section 122 tariff surcharge. By July 1st, we hit the joint review of the USMCA, meaning CUSMA remains in force until 2036. But hovering right around the corner on August 19th is a brutal Section 338 tariff threatening a 50% duty on finished Canadian wood products. Talk about a highly volatile trade environment, right? The intense economic arbitrage driving all this really comes down to tipping fees. Right now, it costs just 36 cents per ton to dump waste in Michigan. Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer is proposing a hike to $5 to deter these imports. But compare that to the Greater Toronto Area, where the floor is nearly $190 a ton. Even with that proposed hike in Michigan, the price gap is just astronomical. And this extreme volatility is exactly why political leaders are taking drastic measures. We're seeing impartial reports that Ontario Premier Doug Ford bypassed standard environmental assessments via Bill 5. He explicitly stated this was a hedge to protect domestic capacity in case the Washington administration, under Donald Trump, closes the border to Ontario's garbage. It's a fascinating direct state-level legislative countermeasure against federal trade uncertainty in Washington. Section 3. The sentient bridge solution. With the border squeezed by both Michigan's proposed fee hikes and Washington's tariff maneuvers, an Ontario company called 905 Wood has deployed what they call the digital refinery workflow. The old way of doing things was just moving raw, chaotic garbage, which naturally gets hit by every tariff and border friction imaginable. The new way? Dematerializing that physical waste into queryable, tariff-exempt data right at the source. They call this architecture the sentient bridge. And here is the core idea that changes everything. The 905 Wood digital refinery is the sentient bridge between chaotic construction waste and the high purity requirements of the biocarbon market. It fundamentally changes the load state from physical matter into queryable data and finally into bankable money. Section 4. Next-gen edge AI architecture. So how do they actually pull off this dematerialization out in the real world? It's wild to think about the sheer computing power being deployed at a common construction dumpster. 905 Wood's next-generation roadmap utilizes a Google Pixel 11 Pro running Android 17. It's powered by a Tensor G5 chip and uses LiteRT AI stack features with turbo-quant compression to operate totally on the edge. And for the really complex decisions, it connects to a massive cloud model console featuring Gemini 3.6 Pro, Claude 4.8, and GPT OS 120B.
Let's walk through how this incredible stack actually works in the field. Step 1. The Pixel 11 Pro captures multimodal visual frames of the wood waste right at the bin. Step 2. That LiteR runtime executes an offline inference in under 500 milliseconds, instantly classifying clean wood from treated waste. Step 3. If a load is ambiguous, it escalates to the cloud console for consensus. Finally, Step 4. The hardware applies a hold-to-seal cryptographic signature, locking in the load's compliance data.
Section 5. The auditable PDF shield. Now, what does that sub-second AI decision actually produce? This is where physical matter officially becomes data. The digital refinery application workflow generates a UI/UX output PDF documentation package with 4 crucial parts. First, the USMCA shield using HS code 3825.0 to certify the load as residual feedstock, completely bypassing those August tariffs. Second, an electronic OREG 347 manifest. Third, a zero levy report card. And fourth, a poro.earth CRC entry. Altogether, this creates an impenetrable package for request for quote, certificate of origin, verified issue, and compliance.
And here is where that data turns into cold, hard money. That zero levy report card translates directly into over $1,053 in circuit avoidance savings for every single mothership load. By using AI to prove the wood is clean, they totally avoid the hefty provincial penalties applied to mixed waste. That is a massive impact on the bottom line. But it gets even better. That poro.earth CORC entry creates a cryptographic pointer linking the physical load to a registered carbon removal credit. That dividend is worth over $2,700 per load on the voluntary market. This AI stock literally turns MSW disposal from a huge logistical headache into a massive financial asset.
Section 6. Matter, data, and money. Let's bring this all together. By operationalizing the Google Pixel 11 Pro and LiteRT AI stack, 905 Wood secures Ontario's industrial leadership in the global circular bioeconomy. They execute a fundamental state change. They take chaotic physical matter, transform it into queryable data at the edge, and realize it as bankable money. It is an absolutely brilliant approach to international trade friction, and it leaves us with a really provocative question to close out on. As tariffs rise, borders tighten, and landfills inevitably close, will the rest of the global supply chain learn to dematerialize their physical liabilities into verified digital assets? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I hope you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did.